We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, if you love everything in college football, subscribe to our channel, smash the like button if you like our content, share the video with your family and friends if you want to support this college football's rebel outpost, the home for the true college football sickos. With a donation to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel, hit that $sign where you make your comments and I'll get to your super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio. Everybody here in the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. We are going in to week 11, a very special time of the year. The Red Raiders and the Cougars. Big game. We are going to be doing a watch party. If everything goes right, and I think it will, we will be doing the watch party. The Red Raiders, Texas Tech versus BYU at noon Eastern time. So come join us for the Red Raiders and the Cougars game. Today, we are going to be making our picks, our selections against the spread. And I think I know you guys, I can't say trust me because I've got 4 years of losing on my track record. But I am 62-59 against the spread this year, which is still losing because of the juice. You all are 58-63. But this is an easy week. This is easy. We're going to pick 11 games. I'm looking at the games. I don't want to, and I got to pick first. I think I got to pick first. So I'm going to give it away, but there is a definite storyline in week 11 that if you recognize it, you can unlock it. There is a lot of 5-star locks in week 11 games. Not only is it so obvious to me, I think it's going to be obvious to you all. It's got to be obvious. I think we're both of us are going 9-2 or 10-1. Both of us are going 9-2 or 11-1. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Oh, thank you. Thank you to the maroon, gold, God in the sky. I thank you. Let's go. Breaking news on 3. Pete Thamel and everybody else. Luke Fickell will return to coach Wisconsin in 2026. Athletic Director Chris McIntosh tells ESPN. The decision comes with a significant increase in financial investment. Oh my goodness. All right. Chancellor Jennifer Mnuchin and I are aligned on a significantly elevating investment for a program to compete at the highest level. Holy smokes. All right. Very good. I'm breaking news. I'm trying to be professional here. I'm trying to be professional. But look, for those who do not know, thank you, Expedition Crush is in the house. Mr. Hoosier. For those who do not know, I am a Golden Gopher fan. For those who do not know, the Golden Gophers, I don't know, I think they were beat 15 straight times by the Wisconsin Badgers in recent history. Dominated by the Badgers. And then Fleck came along and Barry Alvarez left, and suddenly my Golden Gophers have had the axe the last couple of years. Now we're actually taking some of the top high school recruits out of the state of Wisconsin, which has not happened in my lifetime. And I'm an old fat guy from Minnesota. Luke Fickell is coming back next year. Luke Fickell is coming back next year. But that is not what our show is about. Again, breaking news on Luke Fickell. But we, today, on a Thursday, we usually do this on a Wednesday, but we've been running out of time. But today we are going to be making our picks against the spread in Week 11, for Week 11. So we are going to be doing that at the start of the monologue. I think I'm going to be going first, and then you PATC Gridiron Einsteins, as Vox Quindaro has coined all of you, you are going to be going next. And I think it's an easy week. And when I make my picks, I think you guys are going to follow up by making the same out of 11 games. I think you all are going to be making the same 9 or 10 selections. This is lock week. Week 11, the easiest slate of games I have ever seen since we've been doing this YouTube channel. There is no way we are going to fail. PATC Gridiron Einsteins, there is no way we are going to fail this week. Look what's already happened today. We come on live, breaking news. Luke Fickell is coming back for Wisconsin. This is a glorious day. It's already started out great. It's going to end great. Buckle up, brace for impact. Thank you all for coming on in. We are going to be doing a roll call real quick. Okay. Sorry, Ryan Willie. This is a national college football YouTube channel, the most unpopular national college football YouTube channel, and so we can't focus solely on Wisconsin and Minnesota hating each other. We've got a super chat. Ryan Willie, thank you for the $5 holler. Thank you for starting us off today. I appreciate it. No, not bleeping funny. Great. We gotta have some entertainment value during our live show, Ryan Willie. I feel bad. I do feel bad for you because you're a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, a big supporter of the channel. I love your phone calls. I love your comments. I feel bad for you. Now, on the other hand, as Gary Partridge just said, but will PJ Fleck still be in Minnesota? Again, PJ Fleck was mentioned by CBS Sports in an article that was just released about an hour ago. One of the many, many names that are going to be part of the coaching carousel, PJ Fleck, is ultimately probably going to end up on a candidates list somewhere. And again, I say this every year. If PJ Fleck leaves Minnesota, I'm not going to blame the man. He's going to leave us a lot better than what we've ever been in this state. And I'm not going to blame him. I hope he stays. But yeah, if PJ Fleck leaves, don't even ask me. We'll go to that bridge. We'll go to that burning bridge when we have to. But don't even ask me who we would get, because it's going to be very hard to replace PJ Fleck. Okay, let me do the roll call. But we are going to talk about today, after we do our picks against the spread here in week 11, which again is an easy week. We are going to be, first of all, we're going to be talking about what Brent Key, Georgia Tech head coach, had to say about the potential of him leaving Georgia Tech. It ain't going to happen. I love how Brent Key answered the question. And then we're going to talk about Dabo Swinney's frustration. About an hour ago, Sports Illustrated released a little article talking about what Paul Feinbaum has recently said about Dabo Swinney, saying something to the effect of, Paul Feinbaum is saying, look, I don't think Dabo Swinney should be fired. Of course he should not be fired, but maybe he should think about leaving, because there's going to be a lot of job openings. Lots of job openings. And there really is not, how do we say this? There's really not the bullpen of pitchers, the bullpen of coaching candidates that can fill a lot of these top spots. Right? Now, there's always a chance that you're going to find the next Kirk Cignetti, which I highly, highly doubt. And if you do, God bless your program, because you are going to be in a sensational spot. Dabo Swinney is frustrated. And his comment, we are going to go over. And it is very interesting. He is talking about the pressures that these head coaches are under, because, and you and I have talked about this, in the era of the expanded playoffs, the expectations have only gone up for these coaches. You got to make the playoffs. For much of the college football programs out there, your fan base expects you to make the playoffs. And again, as Dabo Swinney says, and we're going to go over it, even though the playoffs have expanded to 12, and I love it, it should be 24, but Dabo Swinney says 12 out of 136. 12 out of 136. That is why a lot of us are getting fired. In other words, Dabo Swinney believes that maybe the playoffs should be bigger, but he doesn't really go in that direction. He goes into a different direction. He said maybe there should be a league of 48 teams. Or relegation. Holy smokes. Dabo Swinney, you can tell he is very, very frustrated. My goodness. Look at Daniel. Wow. Montcastle, the expansion crush. Massive super chat. Thank you, my friend. I very much appreciate it. I haven't seen you in a while. But my goodness. Indiana by 30 over Penn State. Big Ten champs and national champs. Well, first of all, Daniel, if you stick around, I hope you do. First of all, thank you for that incredible generosity. My goodness, you've done that before. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. We are going to be doing the Indiana Penn State selection here in a little bit. The line what we are using is the Hoosiers minus 14.5 on the road against Penn State. On the road, they're favored by 14.5 points. Think about that. Massive super chat. My goodness. Expansion Crush. Thank you so very much. There is a little bit of, I don't know how to put it. He is the ultimate PATC legend. Yep, Expansion Crush. He is the original PATC family member and legend. He has been with me for over a decade. So, he has kept the secrets, the secret sauce, so to speak. I don't know what phrase I should use here. There is some, I think the word justice maybe, in that Indiana is, nobody is questioning Indiana this year. Nobody is. And they should not have, last year they were a fantastic football team. You do not dominate your opponents week in and week out without being a great football team. I don't care what your schedule is in Power 4 conference football. It doesn't matter at that point. I understand why Indiana was seeded, how they were seeded last year, and they had to go against that great Notre Dame team, and Notre Dame was better than Indiana last year. But when that game happened, when we were doing the watch party, when Notre Dame came out firing, man, not only did the chat room, Expedition Greg, I will get to that in a moment. Thank you, Expedition Greg, I appreciate it. Ross Dellinger posted a video of McIntosh making that decision. Not only did the chat room have a complete meltdown, but the internet had a complete meltdown. Oh, Indiana was terrible. The Big Ten's terrible. And I was yelling at you all. I was absolutely yelling at all of you. I said, Indiana deserved to make the playoffs. They were getting beat by a better team, and blowouts are going to happen. They're going to happen. They're going to happen in this playoffs. They're going to happen in this playoffs. They are. And the team that is getting blown out is not a bad football team. They most likely deserve to get to the playoffs, but they ran against a buzzsaw. And then this year, I'm Greg the moron. I had Indiana coming in fourth. Let's see here. Greg the moron, the original Minnesota moron, had fifth. I had Indiana fifth. I also said, when I had them coming in fifth place, I had Penn State first. We are going to get that off the screen. We're not going to put that up again. We are not going to put that up again. I also said that I thought Indiana was a more talented team this year than last year. You guys heard me say that over and over and over again. They are. Kamara, Aiden, D'Angelo Pons, they have all Americans in every level of the defense And Mendoza, you guys know how I felt about Fernando Mendoza. And of course, Elijah Surratt is coming back. By the way, I was talking to somebody on the phone today, and don't be surprised. We're not going to talk about that either, MBM. I have no idea what you're talking about. I do not recall. I don't know what you're saying, Oklahoma State Cowboy MBM. I have no idea what you mean by that. By the way, getting back to Indiana for a moment, you know, when we have this transfer portal happening between January 2nd and January 16th, you know, when we got that transfer portal happening, and you got Fernando Mendoza coming back as your quarterback next year. Yeah, look, you know, you're going to have guys like, and I don't know this for a fact. I'm just throwing this out there. We're just talking. We're just talking. Okay, we're just talking. That's all we're doing. We're just talking. But if you think about Mr. Cam Coleman, the wide receiver for Auburn, a great wide receiver, going into his third year next year, hasn't had an Auburn quarterback who could give him the ball on a consistent, regular basis. That type of talent, is he sticking around for Auburn for another year when they fired head coach Hugh Freeze? I don't know. You're going to have these great wide receivers going in the portal, and where do they want to go? Where do these great wide receivers want to go when they want to be playing in the NFL on Sundays the year after? They're going to go to a place that has a head coach that is in a stable situation, that has got a long, big contract, that has a returning quarterback, and a returning quarterback that is one of the top 3 returning quarterbacks in the nation. Well, that's Indiana. So I'm not saying, but I'm saying Indiana is going to have, they're going to get some monster portal. They're going to get some monster acquisitions. So buckle up, brace for impact. Thank you, Expansion Crush. We've got another super chat. My goodness. We've got 2 Hoosiers. Expansion Crush and Ricky Tungate. Ricky Tungate, just helping you out. Truly enjoy your shows. Thank you, Ricky Tungate. I do appreciate your generosity. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. What is going on with Expansion Crush here? What is going on with Expansion Crush? Why is he blocked from this video? How do you why is Expansion Crush blocked from this video? Why is he getting, is other people getting no video? Can other people see me right now, or what's going on? I have video, you're good here. Why would Expansion Crush be able to make a comment and not be able to... Expansion Crush, Daniel, get out and come back in. See if that works. Everybody else is saying it's fine. Daniel, go back out and come back in. Just refresh, Daniel. Do a refresh. You would not be able to make a comment or do a super chat without by getting blocked. You would not be able to, nobody has blocked Daniel Montcastle from this YouTube channel. By the way, thank you, Ricky Tungate. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. 2 Hoosiers come out big. Thank you, Tungate. You've been doing this for months as well. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you so very much. He broke the YouTube with his hugely generous donation. Well, I hope Daniel doesn't. I hope Expansion Crush doesn't believe he's blocked. He's definitely not blocked. Daniel Montcastle, if you can hear my voice, I'll put in the chat. Did you get the video when you first entered in and then it went black on you or what? Let me know in the chat room. Anyways, okay. Thank you guys. Thank you. Maybe I shouldn't have updated YouTube. Well, I'm sorry about that, Expansion Crush. I did not do anything on my end. You are not blocked. We would not be able to see your comments. You would not be able to put out a massive, generous super chat like you have. So something else is going on. I apologize. Okay. Let's get to it, guys. We are going to be making our picks, and then we're going to be talking about Dabo Swinney, Brent Key, the coaching carousel, CBS Sports, and all of that. We have got and we also want to get to your phone calls. We are going into week 11. Week 11, very important week in college football. The funny thing is, boy, my direct messages are having an issue once again. That is not connected with this, however. Okay. I will get back to that later. Again, for those who have not been able to give me a direct message on X, please give it another try. Let me know through the chat room. I know there have been some people who could not give me direct messages now that they can. And maybe we're having another problem right now that I see. But anyways, Daniel Gygax, unbelievable. Do you want me to make your picks? Daniel Gygax, a member for 20 months. Holy smokes. You are officially knighted Cloak and Dagger, Daniel Gygax. Daniel Gygax, I know that you are the genius this year, 2025. You are the genius of the College Football Mafia show. But again, I ask you, Mr. Gygax, who do you have around you? I mean, of course you're going to be the genius in that group. Of course you are. Do you think Moen is going to be the genius? Do you think Nathan Brown is going to be the genius? Do you think the Professor Wild Ute is going to be the genius? Do you think Rock and Rant is going to be the genius? Do you think Sergeant Pickles is going to be the genius? Do you think Go Becky Huskies Go is going to be the genius? Of that motley crew, Daniel Gygax, Mr. Mountaineer, has to be the genius of that group. Gotta be. That is quite predictable. Absolutely quite very predictable. Gygax the gold. Thank you, Expansion Crush. Well, let me say again, Expansion Crush, thank you for your incredible generosity and your friendship for over a decade. I appreciate your massive contributions and, of course, your donation to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel. Thank you very much. And you are not blocked. I can say that. You'll never be blocked on this channel. Thank you very much. Daniel Gygax, I'm 60-40, and they do okay picking. You're being very kind, Daniel Gygax. You're 60-40. I'm 62-59. So, anyways. Okay, good. I'm glad. Expansion crush. All right, let's make our picks. Let's make our picks before I lose everybody. Okay, I'm going first. And I think if you guys had any intelligence at all, that you would mimic everything I'm about to do. If you had any intelligence at all. Northwestern at USC. Now, I got the USC Nebraska game wrong last week. I got it wrong last week. I took USC and Nebraska played a pretty tough game, I got to tell you. But I'm not going to get this one wrong this week. The Trojans are going to cover. Northwestern quarterback, Preston Stone, he's been terrible the last couple of weeks. The Trojans are going to easily cover. I'm giving 14.5 points. Indiana and Penn State. Now, I've been on the Indiana train, and I don't care what this number is. I'm taking the Hoosiers. I look at minus 14.5 as a gift. I saw the Buckeyes covered against Penn State last week. Indiana is going to cover again this week. The Indiana Hoosiers minus 14.5. Indiana may not score the points that they usually score, but they're not going to give up much. They're definitely not going to give up much. I'm taking Indiana. BYU, Texas Tech. The Cougars versus the Red Raiders. So I think the Red Raiders are going to sweep. I think they're going to beat BYU and then beat BYU in the Big 12 championship game. And then I've got BYU right on that bubble to make the playoffs. This was my projections of the playoffs on November 3rd. It's going to change when I do it again on November 10th. But I've got BYU Vanderbilt as the 10th final at-large spot on the bubble. BYU on the bubble once they get swept by the Red Raiders twice. So the question that I have to ask myself is the following. Do the Cougars cover? I'm going to say no. I think the Red Raiders show up and show out. I think they slam the door on the Cougars. Yes, the BYU Cougars still have Superman as quarterback. But the Red Raiders are the kryptonite. I've got the Red Raiders covering Texas Tech. Georgia and Mississippi State. Now I'm going to go into a different direction. Different direction here. Georgia, I'll take Georgia over anybody in the land if you're talking about the last 5 minutes of a football game. But it's a 60-minute game, baby. 60-minute game. In Georgia, there's slow starts. I think they're going to get in trouble in the playoffs against the Buckeyes, against the Hoosiers, against teams like even Notre Dame. I think the Georgia Bulldogs are going to have a very difficult time in the playoffs. But in this game, I think they're going to start slow, close fast, but they do not cover. I've got the Mississippi State Cowbells plus 9.5. I've got Mississippi State. Texas A&M, Missouri. I would love to take Missouri. I would love it. Love it. But I can't. Texas A&M going against the Missouri Tigers that really do not have their quarterback. I've got the Aggies covering -6.5. Oregon in Iowa. I have learned to respect the hell of this Hawkeyes team. The offensive line is absolutely legit. And that offensive line is going to be even better next year. So watch out for the Hawkeyes next year. But again, they're going to lose Mark Gronowski, the quarterback, their running quarterback. This is the last year of eligibility. 1-year transfer coming in from South Dakota State Jackrabbits. I respect the hell out of the Hawkeyes. I really do. But I still think the Ducks cover. I think they're going to make a couple big plays. And Iowa's not going to be able to score the points like they've been doing. And the Ducks cover. The Ducks win by a touchdown. They cover by a half a point. Wake Forest in Virginia. What happened to Wake Forest last year? Last week, excuse me. I've got Virginia covering -6.5. The Cavaliers win this game by at least 10 points. LSU and Alabama, again. LSU, no head coach, no permanent head coach. Bama is on a roll. Bama covers this easily. Another easy game. Bama, I'll take Bama -9.5. Florida State and Clemson. A frustrated Dabo Swinney, right? A frustrated Dabo Swinney. I think that locker room has been corrupted. I think there are guys that are mailing it in. That defense was absolutely shredded last week. I'm taking the Seminoles on the road +1.5. Navy, Notre Dame. Navy is one of those teams. What are they? 7-1 in the American. They're starting to finally go into the meat of the schedule. No, Jacoba Cat, I am not a Hawkeye fan. I am definitely not a Hawkeye fan. That rumor has to be stopped right now. Navy at Notre Dame. I'm going to take the midshipmen. Now, I have fallen into this trap before. I think every year I fall into this hole. Every year I pontificate. I get in front of the microphone and I say, oh, Notre Dame respects Navy so much. Notre Dame is going to have Navy down on the ground, but they're going to let them up a little bit, and Navy's going to cover. I said that last year. And Notre Dame blew them out. I'm going to say it this year, and I'm going to have to relearn the lesson. I've got Navy covering. I've got Navy +26.5 points. The last game, Nebraska, UCLA. Look, the line is -1.5. Nico, I'm leaving on a jet plane versus Latif, the freshman quarterback who comes from Los Angeles. You got to take the Bruins. You've got to take the UCLA Bruins. I've got UCLA. So my picks are the Trojans, the Hoosiers, the Red Raiders, the Bulldogs of Mississippi State, the Aggies of Texas A&M, the Ducks, the Cavaliers, Roll Tide, Roll, the Seminoles, the Midshipmen, and the Bruins. Those are my picks against the spread. And after we go through a super chats here, very generous super chats, we are going to go through your picks against the spread. And again, you should probably just mimic my picks if you guys have any brains left in your skulls. Expedition Greg, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for everything you do, my friend. Thank you for everything you do, Expedition Greg. Expedition Greg, try to send me a DM this afternoon and let me know if it works, okay? Supposedly it's working. So, I don't know. Just send me a DM, Expedition Greg, if you have a time to do that. And I'll let you know if I see it or not. Thank you so much for the super chat. I very much appreciate it. Daniel Gygax, USC to cover. BYU is a 10.5 underdog. I think BYU covers that. Kenneth the Maynard, Tech wins. Stephen McNeely, BYU fans, thank you, Greg. They thank you. Wow. Replica. A message to the Evil Badger, Ryan Willie. You may have lost the battle, Evil Badger, but the war rages on. No surrender mentality. Hold the line. Wow. A Longhorn coming to the Evil Badgers. Wow. Unbelievable. Thank you, Replica. Thank you so much for being a member of this program for 20 months. You, my friend, are a officially knighted cloak and dagger. Thank you, Replica. Thank you, Mr. Longhorn. Appreciate it. Ryan Willie has got a lot of support in the PATC family. Ryan Willie has got a lot of support. He's got way more support than I do. I tell you that. Ryan Willie, super chat. Ryan Willie, super chat. (2026) Wisconsin schedule. Notre Dame, Western Illinois. Pittsburgh, Iowa, Michigan State. Purdue, USC, Penn State, UCLA, Minnesota, Maryland, Rutgers. I predict 4-8. McIntosh must think they'll make a bowl. Well, they're bringing in a lot more money, supposedly, Ryan Willie. Thank you for the $10 holler, Ryan Willie. I appreciate all your support, your friendship. Thank you so very much. Tough times for the Badgers right now, but at least you now have a direction, right? You know which way you're going. Fickle, McIntosh coming back next year. You've got bigger investment, right? Win the Axe against Minnesota in the last game of the season, and you'll be feeling better about the Badgers, Ryan Willie. Your mission now. Again, Fickle's coming back. There's nothing you can do, Ryan Willie. The mission has to be to win back the Axe. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Thank you, Ryan Willie. I appreciate it. Super chat, Cobra Cat. Greg the Gold is a Hawkeye fan this year. No, I'm not. But I do respect that football team. That offensive line is... Iowa Hawkeyes have a great offensive line. And the offensive line is going to be better next year. If Iowa gets a quarterback, if they've got a quarterback... If they get another couple offensive weapons, a wide receiver, Iowa might be challenging for something here. They still got a chance for the playoffs this year. If they win 4 in a row, they're going to the playoffs. So I would not call this Iowa-Oregon game a playoff game because I think Oregon can still make the playoffs if they go 3-1 the rest of the way. So I'm not willing to say this is an elimination game because I don't think Oregon gets eliminated if they lose. If Iowa loses, they get eliminated. But yeah, I think Iowa's got something special going on with that offensive line. Wisconsin peak is Hayden Fry, but never will be Ivashki. whatever that means. Thank you, Jacoba Cat. Thank you for the $2 holla. I appreciate your support, even though you are a hot guy and Ryan Willie is an evil badger. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Now we're going to have to make your picks. Are you guys ready? Raiola to Iowa. That would be scary. That would be scary. Wouldn't be shocked if Lincoln Kienholz transfers to Iowa. Yeah. That would be... Son of Sarek, that is a genius comment. I think that would be a perfect spot for Kienholz. And I think Iowa would take him in a heartbeat. Yeah. Yeah. Sky Yuma, Ryan Matson. Sky Yuma, thanks for coming on in. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't see it, Expedition Greg. I don't see it. I do not see any breaking news by Ross Dellinger. Dead Air Flugar never gets old. It's the best Flugar there is. Silverfield is the brand new coach at Arkansas. I do not see that breaking news. If somebody can link it to me, go ahead. I do not see it. Silverfield, the head coach of Memphis. I am not seeing that breaking news. I'm not getting anything. I think you might be you could be getting fooled, Expedition Greg. Did Greg go silent? No, I'm still here. Okay, let's do our picks, guys. Let's go here. Let's go. Ryan Silverfield is the brand new head coach. Send it to you right now. I am not seeing that. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. That is not Ross Dellinger. Expedition Greg, that is not Ross Dellinger. That's not his. That's not how he spells it. Jacoba Cat, yes, absolutely, 100%. Love you, Ryan Willie. You add so much to the channel. Absolutely correct. Thank you, Jacoba Cat. Appreciate it. Fox Quindaro, Dead Air Flugar is a tension-creating PATC mechanic. You guys. Okay, you guys got to make your picks here. All of you got to stop stalling. Stop stalling. Okay, here we go. Greg, don't you think there's time after the SZN for SCC to do the big scoop? I'm starting to think, no, there isn't. I think the Southeastern... I think there's about a 5-month window after they name the president, Virginia, if they name it in December, but I don't think that window is going to be open long enough. I think we are... I think the next wave of disruption has gotten even more complicated. We'll talk about that probably next week. Definitely the ground has changed in Charlottesville. Let's get to it, guys. Let's get to it. Here we go. Does USC cover the minus 14.5 point spread? Whoops, I screwed that up. Versus Northwestern. If you want to take USC and give 14.5 points, you vote yes. If you want to take Northwestern and receive 14.5 points, you vote no. The voting begins now. Hold up, you're gonna have a little bit extra time to vote on this. I gotta clean something up here. My question to you all, as I clean something up, have you all been paying attention to 3i Atlas? Have you been paying attention to the last 24-hour news on 3i Atlas? Where China and a few other countries have put out their pictures of 3i Atlas, their most recent pictures, where it is coming around the sun and there is no comet tail to it, and yet it is speeding up, which means it should be outgassing all of the stuff off the comet that would create a tail, but it's not creating a tail. Have you guys been paying attention? Probably not. Probably not. Very strange rock, if it is a rock. Very strange rock. Okay. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 64% of you take USC. 64% of you take USC. Fox Quindaro, nope. James C, no. Okay. You all took USC. Next game here. Here we go. Does Indiana cover the minus 14.5 point spread versus Penn State? If you vote Indiana, if you vote yes, you're taking the Hoosiers and you're willing to give 14.5 points. If you vote no, you're taking the Nittany Lions and you are receiving 14.5 points. The voting begins now. Vox Quindaro, I gave up on 3i Atlas. Too much early hype burned me out. there are 10 different anomalies. 10 different anomalies about 3i Atlas. 10 of them. Unlike any other comet we have ever seen. Did you guys hear about the drones flying over Belgium? Giving you guys 5 more seconds on the vote. They can't be brought down. They can't be jammed up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 71% of you took Indiana. The PATC Einsteins have become Hoosier believers. Hoosier believers. And I don't blame you. This is an easy week, guys. This is an easy week. Vox Quindaro, Belgium drone is huge. Christopher Hooter, the drones were Russian. No, they were not. No, they were not. If these were Russian drones flying all over Europe and they could not be jammed up and brought down to the ground, Russia would not be having any problems in the Ukraine. They're definitely not Russian drones. Definitely not Russian drones. Okay. All right, you guys took Indiana. You guys took Indiana. Got it. The next game, BYU and the Red Raiders. Again, PATC is having a watch party, 12 noon Eastern time, 2 days from now. The Red Raiders in Houston, BYU Cougars. Does Texas Tech cover the minus 10.5 point spread versus BYU? If you want to take the Red Raiders, you take yes, and you're willing to give 10.5 points. If you want the Cougars, you hit no and take 10.5 points. The voting begins now. Three Eye Atlas, while you guys are voting, Three Eye Atlas came on the same plane as our solar system. The chance of that third interstellar rock coming in our plane, our solar system plane, the angle is 0.02%, and yet it happened. A massive rock that is now accelerated after it left going around the sun. And for that to happen, it would have to lose 10 to 13% of its existing mass, and yet the latest pictures as it come around the sun does not show a comet tail, does not show a cloud of dust. It just shows a massive, bright object. Think about that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 70% says no. Wow. The PATC family, the Gridiron Einsteins, are solidly behind the BYU Cougars. It would have a slingshot effect around the sun. Stephen McNeely is correct, but it is still going too fast. The math does not work on it. According to the last 12 hours of examining it, there's too much acceleration. It would have lost a lot of mass to excel that fast. It's at a point that it should not be at. It does not have a comet tail right now, and nobody can explain that. After coming around the sun, there is another comet that they've got a picture on. I think it's called Lemon, Lemon. The same time the picture was taken of 3i Atlas, they took a picture of Lemon, a much smaller solar system comet, and it's got a big old tail coming out the back end. But not 3I Atlas, not 3I Atlas. Georgia, Mississippi State. Does Georgia cover the minus 9.5 point spread versus Mississippi State? If you want to take Georgia and give 9.5, you vote yes. If you want to take the Bulldogs of Mississippi State to get 9.5 points, you vote no. The voting begins now. Not to mention that the 3I Atlas, as you're voting on this game, 3I Atlas is producing a whole lot of nickel. We know that it is gassing out nickel, but it ain't gassing out iron. And that has never been seen before, as we have recorded and analyzed thousands of our own solar system comets. Never nickel without the iron. We can't even do that. You've got them, if you never been seen before. There are 10 different crazy things with this 3I Atlas that we've never seen before from another rock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, 68% takes Georgia. You guys have not mimicked me in the last 2 games. You've gone in a different direction. Texas A&M versus Missouri. Does Texas A&M cover the minus 6.5 point spread versus Missouri? On the road, giving 6.5 to the Tigers. Your voting begins now. Stephen McNeely, it's not from the solar system, so it should be different. In our solar system, we understand the population of the rocks that are flying around, right? And one of the things is, out of so many thousands of rocks, one is larger than the other. In other words, large solar system comets, asteroids, you have a certain population of them, right? And then you got a big one. And then you got a bunch of medium, small, and then you got another big one. This is our third interstellar rock, and it happens to be incredibly massive, many times bigger than the first 2 interstellar rocks. What does that tell you? Does that tell you anything? The mathematical probability of this atlas does that mean that rocks coming from different places of the universe are bigger than our rocks at that massive of scale? 5 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 67% says Texas A&M. Oregon. Does Oregon cover At Iowa, whoops. I did not mean that. Hold on here. Something flipped. There we go. Does Oregon cover the -6.5 point spread versus Iowa? If you want to take the Ducks, you vote yes and give 6.5. If you want Iowa and get 6.5 points, you vote no. The voting begins now. One rock is statistically insignificant. But that one rock, Stephen McNeely, is so different than anything we've ever seen. And it's coming in at an angle, our solar system angle, that it had a 0.2% chance of coming in on that angle. Wow. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It doesn't resemble anything we've ever seen before. 5 more seconds on the vote. This one's kind of close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 59% says no. The PATC has taken the Iowa Hawkeyes. Again, I'm a little surprised. I am a little surprised. We go to Wake Forest in Virginia. Does Virginia cover the -6.5 point spread versus Wake Forest? If you want Wake Forest and receive 6.5 points, you vote no. If you want the Cavaliers and give 6.5 points, you vote yes. The voting begins now. If it's a UFO, what are the odds of it coming in at that angle? Great question. If you are UFO, and if you wanted to, or if you wanted to send a probe, to our solar system, you would basically send it in at that exact angle because it got behind the sun at the perfect time. It's gone by Mars. It's going to go by Jupiter. It's going to go really close to Jupiter. It went really close to Mars. It is the perfect timing and angle to study our solar system. It's the perfect angle, the perfect time. I ain't saying that it's I'm not saying that it is artificial. I'm not saying that. But my goodness, it is completely different than anything we've ever seen before. 5 more seconds on the vote. We've got a landslide. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 73% yes believes that Virginia is going to cover. My goodness. That story has not disappeared, Ed D. Remember when they were flying drones then, when people called them out of the drone story? That has not disappeared. Google Belgium drones, they're all over the place. And yet we can't bring them down. There was a massive article that just came out. In fact, I'll put it up on the screen after we do our picks. That story has not gone away. Absolutely not. Alabama and LSU. Does Alabama cover the -9.5 point spread? Oh, shoot. My bad. Versus LSU. If you want Bama and give 9.5 points, you vote yes. If you want to take the LSU Tigers and get 9.5 points, you vote no. The voting begins now. Greg, do a poll on who believes Atlas is natural or unnatural. Okay, here's the thing. All right, guys. Here's the thing. Go to YouTube. And after this live show, don't do it now. After this live show, go type in "The Angry Astronaut." Go type in "The Angry Astronaut." Go listen to his analysis. He has got a new video up today. It's like there are so many crazy things about this rock. Even so many crazy things. And he goes through them on the video once again today. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 72% says yes for Alabama. You all believe Alabama is going to continue to roll on and cover against the LSU Tigers. This is going to be an interesting one here. Does Clemson cover the minus 1.5 point spread versus Florida State? If you want to take Clemson and give 1.5 points, you vote yes. If you want the Seminoles and get 1.5 points, you vote no. The voting begins now. Flugar is off his rocker. Vox Guindaro, wild hair scientist declares. Bimba 7579. The drones in Poland are a false flag to promote more war. Tom Halleck. Clemson has quit on the season. Mr. Seminole Rod Nix. Goal. No. We've got a very close vote. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 57% believes that Clemson is going to cover. That is a shocker. That is a shocker. Navy and Notre Dame. We got 2 more games left to go. 2 more games. And then we got to get to the rest of the monologue. And we're going to open up the phone lines. Navy, Notre Dame. Does Notre Dame cover the minus 26.5 point spread versus Navy? If you want to fight in Irish and give 26.5 points, you vote yes. If you want the midshipmen and receive 26.5 points, you vote no. The voting begins now. Vox Quindaro, let the record reflect that I do not agree on the Clemson pick. Duly noted. Duly noted. Daniel Gygax, this United States Air Force guy is polling for Navy. Holy smokes. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 78% of you said no. You all are taking Navy. You all are taking Navy. Just like me, we fell into the trap once again. We all fell into the trap once again. Here is the last game of week 11. Does UCLA cover the minus 1.5 point spread versus Navy? Versus Nebraska. If you want UCLA, you vote yes and you're willing to give a point and a half. If you want the Cornhuskers, you vote no and receive a point and a half. The voting begins now. Five more seconds on the vote, and we got a close one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No. 53% of you say no. You guys took Nebraska with the backup true freshman quarterback. I am a little shook right now. This is not how I thought things were going to go. I thought you guys were going to do what I was going to do. Here we go. Northwestern at USC. We both have the Trojans. Indiana, Penn State. We both took the Hoosiers. BYU at Texas Tech. I got the Red Raiders. You all took the Cougars. Georgia at Mississippi State. I took the Mississippi State Bulldogs. You guys took the Georgia Bulldogs. Texas A&M at Missouri. I took the Aggies. You guys took the Aggies. Oregon at Iowa. I took the Ducks. You all took the Hawkeyes. Wake Forest at Virginia. We both took the Cavaliers. LSU at Alabama. We both took Roll Tide. Florida State at Clemson. I took the Seminoles. You all took the Tigers. Navy at Notre Dame. We both took Navy. And Nebraska at UCLA. I took UCLA, the Bruins. You all took the Cornhuskers. So we differ on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. 5 out of 11 we differ on. And that shocks me. Holy smokes. I did not expect that at all. I'm really surprised at you guys today. Almost half. I'm stunned by this. Either I'm way off or you guys are way off. Something major is going to happen. Okay. Brent Key. Now, here at Peek Around the Corner, when we've gone through the coaching carousel and who's a possible candidate for all these jobs, I've never brought up the name of Brent Key. He's not a name that has been shown to me as a potential candidate. And maybe this is the reason why. Brent Key, the head coach of Georgia Tech, said the following today. Since I came back here, since I was named the head coach here at Georgia Tech, outside of the time with my family, every waking second of my life has gone towards building this program to get to the point that it is right now, so that in turn we can continue 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, continue to elevate this place to be in that conversation, not to be here, not to be in there for 2 or 3 weeks, but to be a consistent team. Not when you lose one game, have people say the storybook is over. Nah, it is just the beginning. Slice me open and see what colors I bleed. As Kenneth Maynard says in the chat room, Key bleeds yellow jacket gold. So Brent Key is not going anywhere. And we have not really talked about him going anywhere. He's never been, that is just not a candidacy that we have been told about. So, and I think for very good reason. I don't think his agent is making any phone calls. Brent Key is staying at Georgia Tech. He's staying at his alma mater. So great news for Georgia Tech. And I don't think anyone is shocked by that. But now let's go to Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney. Again, this is the title of our show. Dabo Frustrated. This is our title screen. The title of the show is Dabo Swinney. Maybe we need 48-team league. Now, why is Dabo saying that? This is what Dabo Swinney said today. We've created an NFL model, but the NFL is 32 teams with 16 playoff spots. The NFL is designed to be 9-8. In other words, parity. Teams are designed to go 9-8, 8 or 9. Dabo Swinney, half the league is getting into the playoff. All year, you have a chance for the playoffs. But we've got, in college football, we've got 136 teams for 12 spots. We've made it about the playoffs. So people are losing their jobs. People like us, you're out of the playoff early, and now it's not about your season anymore. Forever, what made college football special, it was about your season, the pageantry of your program, the relationships, getting to the postseason, and about your rival games. Now, it's all about the playoffs. But the system is set up. People are going to get fired. How many coaches have won championships in college football? Some of the best coaches to ever coach this game didn't win a championship. Now it's harder than it's ever been when you have 136 teams for 12 spots. It's not feasible. Maybe we need a 48 team. It's not going to go back. Maybe it's a 48 team league with 28 spots. Or maybe you have a different league or relegation. I don't know. There is a lot to unpack there. Okay? There is a lot to unpack. The first thing I'm going to unpack is now it's all about the playoffs. It is all about the playoffs. There's going to be bowl games, and people are going to watch them, but it is all about the playoffs. You know why it's all about the playoffs? And it's not like how it was before. It's because your football players are getting paid. Your football players are getting paid. More money is going towards labor, as it should be, right? More money is going to the student athletes, as it should be. So you have to create more value during your season. And to create more value in your season, the expanding the playoffs is the way to go. The NFL did it. The NBA did it. The NHL did it. Of course, college football had to follow. The pageantry is why I love the sport. The history is why I love the sport. The rivals is why I love the sport. But that in itself is not going to pay the bills on the increased labor cost of college football, of college sports, of your athletic department. So you have to create more value. We are seeing ratings go up. We're seeing more ad dollars flow in. Right? We are seeing all this third-party money wanting to come in because they know that the college football is undervalued. It is about the playoffs. It has to be about the playoffs. And the playoffs have bettered the game. So it has to be about the playoffs. That's the first thing that I wanted to unpack. Okay? So he's talking about, but the system is set up. People are going to get fired. Well, people get fired all the time in the NFL. People are getting fired all the time. It doesn't mean they're a bad coach. Look, that's just the way it is. And that is not going to go away. Many, many teams and fan bases, their expectations have gone up. They expect your team to make the playoffs. The fans, the boosters are putting in money to help pay for the players. They're buying the tickets. They're buying the merchandise. They're buying the t-shirts. They're going to all these activities. And then you've got the large boosters. Every time you buy a beer at the stadium, that beer costs you an arm and a leg. You're putting money in towards the program. The fan bases feel that they've got an ownership stake of the program. Expectations are sky high. It ain't going back. It's not going back. Now, when Dabo Swinney goes to the old, maybe we need a 48-team league with some 28 spots. I think he just threw out a number. Or maybe you have a different league or relegation. I don't know. Now, I'm going to go ahead and speculate wildly on why he's saying this. I'm going to go ahead. This is just my speculation. Okay? I'm just throwing that out. I'm just going to throw that out. You know, guys, it's not easy. It's not easy. Even for the best football programs in the country, it's not easy because there is more parity. There is a smaller margin of error. There just is. There just is. I know, like the Ohio State Buckeyes, it sure doesn't seem like that. Indiana, it sure doesn't seem like that. But even the Buckeyes, eventually they're going to come back down to earth. They're going to have their top players injured. Things are not going to go right. They're going to miss out on recruiting. Their culture might change a little bit. Their head coach might leave someday. Even the Buckeyes, things might change a little bit. But for most of us, it is the margin of error is so damn small. And I think Dabo is frustrated by it. This is something that they're not used to. Even in the ACC, you've got Mensah. and even in that game, if you look at this total stats and everything, Clemson had way more yards. But Darren Mensah is a quarterback that Duke would have not have gotten before. They wouldn't have. No disrespect to Duke. And I've got no problem with Duke. That's how college football is now. For the better. And now you got a Duke that can come into Clemson. First time they've beaten Clemson at Clemson since 1980. That example has only been replicated like millions of times during the last 2 years. Vanderbilt beating Alabama. Vanderbilt being competitive. Indiana is a story on all to its own. These head coaches don't feel secure because they can get got. They get got. It can happen at any time. They can lose almost any single week of the season. So and then when he's talking about a 48-team league, it's like, well, maybe we should condense the teams and then there's more certainty that we get the talent that we used to get. I'm just playing psychologist here. I'm wildly speculating on why he said that. And maybe there's some frustration because Clemson is still in the ACC. They're going to have to wait a little bit longer, a lot longer. Relegation ain't going to happen. So Dabo is incredibly frustrated. Maybe it's a 48-team league with 28 spots, or maybe you have a different league or relegation. I don't know. And you guys know how I feel about a larger playoffs. I completely support and endorse a larger playoff than even more than 12, even more than 16. Because I still think, even with the 24-team playoff, I still think we're going to have this very good, entertaining argument on who should be the 6 at-large bids. I think there are going to be teams that are going to be very good at the very end of the 24th, 25th, 26th team that could surprise people in the playoffs because of how this landscape is now. Parity. Look, if the ACC, if you all had a tournament right now, how many teams? If you had a 16, let's say you booted one ACC team out of the playoffs. If you had your own conference 16-team playoff, how many teams could possibly win the ACC tournament? 7, 8 of them? What about the Big 12? I get it. Texas Tech seems to be above everybody, and BYU. So maybe Big 12 this year is not a great example, but for other years, last year was. The SEC, the Big 10, not quite a good example, but you still have teams like, I think USC right now, if the season began today, they would make a run. Because of the different landscape in college football, I think you can have a bigger, larger playoff and not dilute it. You can have blowouts, just like you have now, but I don't think you dilute it. I think you only make the college football season more special, the regular season. So when Dabo at the beginning here says, you've got 136 teams for 12 spots, you're out of the playoffs early, and now it's not about the season anymore. Well, if you have a 24-team playoff, there are more teams still in the hunt going into week 8, going into week 9, going into week 10. That's why I support and endorse the larger college football playoffs. But that is not really, I think what Dabo is really, I don't think he's pushing for a 24-team playoff. I think he's highly frustrated that, damn, man, it is highly, highly competitive out there. You have got to have your locker room all bolted up. The culture has to be there. Everybody has to be bought in. Nobody can have these problems with how much money this guy's making or that guy's making. You've got to be all dialed in every single week because an upset is about to happen. An upset is there's going to be an upset this week that none of us are going to see. So Dabo is very frustrated, and maybe, just maybe, Clemson would not make a 36-team playoff this year. Absolutely, they won't. Maybe, just maybe, Dabo Swinney should think about leaving Clemson. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for him to be the fresh paint on the wall somewhere else, and for Clemson to get a fresh paint, a new coach into that big-time football program. Maybe it's time for a change. Maybe it's time for Dabo Swinney's agent to give LSU a call, to give Florida a call. Maybe it's time. I am going to open up the phone lines right now. Dabo to LSU, Penn State, Florida. I love it when millionaires complain. Anthony Eason, go to 24. FCS does it right with all those conference champions. If Dabo was 6-2, he'd be very quiet. Jose making $10 million per year. Nonsense to be bitching. Rod Nix, it's not just Dabo. Alford mentioned a positional salary cap in casual discussion, and some FSU media lost their minds. We've got Ryan Willie Super Chat. Ryan Willie Super Chat. Ryan Willie, I'll be watching ESPN Madison all day tomorrow, so hear McIntosh explain his disastrous decision. I'm not able to call in tonight. Thank you, Ryan Willie. Thank you for your super chat, for your generosity. Tough day for a Badger. Again, if you missed it, breaking news earlier today, Luke Fickell is coming back next year, announced by the athletic director of McIntosh about an hour ago. Thank you, Ryan Willie. I'm going to look forward to your next phone call, be it probably next week, right after these games that happen. Thank you, Ryan Willie. Appreciate it. Christopher Hooter is not a fan of a larger college football playoffs, and this is his message on the size of the league. $28 of $48, that's 50% in the playoffs. Too much. Yeah, I think Dabo just threw out the number 28. At that point, I don't think he knew what he was really saying. I don't know. Dabo Swinney wants more security for the head coaches. He when you grave on a curve, and it's all about the playoffs, and if you don't make the playoffs out of 12-team playoffs, you might lose your job. Well, Dabo Swinney wants to change up the bell curve. If Dabo Swinney was a student in high school, he wants the 70% correct answers to be an A, no longer to be a C. I think that's what Dabo Swinney is trying to say. We are going to open up the phone lines right now, talk about anything in college football that your heart desires. 763-260-1333, 763-260-1333. Let me know what you want to talk about.
Call from
Rick.
Rick is on the line. The floor is yours. Thanks for calling, sir. I very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I think Dabo is getting pressured, and he's trying to release some of that pressure he's feeling.
Yeah.
And he really hasn't done anything lately since Venables left. Everything he achieved, Venables was his defensive coordinator.
Yeah, it's and Tony Elliott, by the way, too.
Yeah.
When he was there. Yep.
And now he's on his own, and he's frustrated.
Yep.
With regard to the desk clearing non-incident.
Yep. I still haven't heard anything.
Well, now that's my call. Mr. Credibility needs to follow up.
Yep.
Because it's understandable that he or she, Ms. or Mr. Credibility, had inside information, and it fell apart, and that's all fine.
Yeah.
But much like the Big Ten super deal with CalPERS, which fell apart because USC and Michigan didn't want it, and we found that out. So too, we need to know what the big deal was that fell apart. And he or she is not to blame for it, but it still happened.
I get it. I understand.
Or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Did it really happen?
I will say this: the person who I think you're referring to, the person who let me know about a financial deal that might be that was supposed to be announced, I think last week.
Yeah, I lost time.
Yeah, but that person did not specifically say it was a Big Ten thing.
No, they didn't. No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm surprised.
But it's been long enough.
Yeah.
It's been long enough that it's time to disclose the conference and what happened.
I agree with you. And I think maybe part of that is my fault because I haven't gotten back to him. It is a him. Because I continue to think that I will reach out. I will reach out, and when I do, he'll answer me pretty quick. But I haven't done the follow up like I should. So I think it's more me to blame on that.
I don't think it is your fault. In any way, shape, or form is it your fault? Zero. The honorable thing for him to have done is to follow up himself and say, "Hey, Greg, it fell through because of X, Y, and Z."
Okay.
If he's going to make a big deal of it to start, he should make a big deal out of it to finish. So I don't in any way, I don't think any listeners to your show involve you with this.
I will follow up on that. I got a note written to myself here. I take notes during the show, and I'm going to follow up.
Because I don't know about anybody else, but I bit hook, line, and sinker. And I was devoting the day to that coming out.
Yeah. And I'm hesitant to say this. The same person about 2 months prior to that, 2 to 3 months prior to that, also brought that up and said something may be happening, but it was a lot less, like it was a financial deal with the conference. And that might have been this Big Ten thing, but he never committed to say it was the Big Ten. So when the Big Ten thing happened, I poked and prodded and said, "Is this what you meant?" And he did not. He said he did not commit to it. He just said, "So I don't know, man. I happen to think it is something big, but." So this ain't the first time he's done that about a financial deal. But the first time he wasn't, he was just giving me a heads up, and he wasn't saying that it was going to be dropping the next day type of thing like he did this time. So just let you know.
And desk clearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part that really got me. Yeah, and then the last part, and we'll let the next caller in. I like a 2014 playoff. And if you think about it, if today were the end of the season, the way I would like it is if you threw out number 20 on the CFP ratings, if you threw out number 25, I don't even know who it is. I don't care. Just throw them out. Mm-hmm. And then if today with the final week, it's all over, 1 through 8, get to sit out just like you had called it, and 9 through 24,
yep,
knock each other out, right?
Yep.
And then the following week we get down to the last 16, and I'm okay with doing it right off the CFP ratings. I'm okay.
Yep, it's going to be straight seeding. Yep. Correct.
And then the other thing is, and I want to make this point because I think you agree, maybe not, but I think of the 24, 1 through 24 currently on the list, realistically, how many of that 1 through 24 is going to win the Natty?
I don't know what the number is, but I'm going to go ahead and say it's more than it has ever been.
Okay.
I don't know if it's 6, if it's 4, if it's 8. It's more than it's ever been.
I'll go as far as 8.
Yeah.
I think 8 of the 24 probably are serious contenders for the Natty. So that's more than enough to have a playoff 24.
Yeah.
And somebody might have an outside chance of having a miracle year. Mm-hmm. But yeah, thanks for taking the call.
You got it, buddy. Appreciate it, Rick. Beautiful call, sir. We've got a super chat. Kenneth Maynor, 2014 playoff, 10 auto bids for the 10 FBS Conference champions, 14 at large, keep all the fan bases engaged.
Call from
Christopher Hooter.
Christopher Hooter, can you hold on for a moment, please?
Take time.
I appreciate it. Kenneth Maynor, I know a lot of people would agree with you on that. I happen to look at it a little bit differently. Number one, I don't think you're going to get the playoff payouts if you do it that way. I get that FCS does it that way, but I don't think if you're going to do a 2014 playoff, you want to create as much monetary value as possible, or the teams aren't going to do it, and that just isn't going to get the same number of eyeballs. And number two, the Big Ten would never go for this because you got 14 at-large bids. I mean, it just, that isn't gonna but I understand why you want it this way, and other people would want it this way. I don't think that is gonna be in the cards for a 2014 playoff. But then again, my wishes probably aren't in the cards either. So we're probably both in the same boat. Thank you, Kenneth Maynor, East Carolina Pirate. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the $5 holla. Thank you for your generosity. Appreciate it so very much. Christopher Hooter, the floor is yours. Let it rip, sir.
5-19, Greg. 5-19.
Nah. Not going to happen. And if it does happen, this studio is going to be on fire. But no. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Mac Brown did an interview. I don't know. I guess it was last week or something. I don't know if you saw it. He was talking about these big buyouts, yeah?
Yeah.
He thinks these contracts are going to kind of work. They're going to kind of wane. We're going to see the last of this. I'm not going to pay you $10 million for 10 years. I'll give you 15 for 3 years. And so they're not stuck with these big buyouts. So that was sort of he was pretty reasonable too. You know, he goes, I never had a big buyout. If someone asked me to leave, I'd just say okay, right? But
Yeah.
but you know, I guess that was then, right?
Yeah.
When you and Rick were talking about you guys, I think I was kind of in and out. You guys were alluding to the Did I get that right?
Hello,
Big Ten and all that.
you fell out. I couldn't hear you.
Were you and Rick talking about USC and Michigan?
USC, Michigan. No.
Did y'all bring up the Big Ten? I thought I was in and out. I was kind of distracted there.
No, he didn't. He wasn't bringing up that situation. No.
No, okay. Well, I think they did the Big Ten a favor.
Okay. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. But I think there are plenty of Big Ten programs that are kind of looking at the situation like, okay, because the Buckeyes were willing to do it and Michigan wasn't. I think the Buckeyes have curried a little bit more favor right now. Now, again, that probably is going to change over time, just like everything else does. But right now, I think the Buckeyes have, and this has not been the case over the last 50 years, but I think the Buckeyes might have the biggest voice in the room right now, to be honest with y'all.
Well, they seem to be on board with the conference, right?
Yep.
You don't get the vibe that they want to break away and form
No.
the top, 32
No.
or whatever, right? You don't get that vibe at all, and that's good. I think that's good, right?
And I don't think Michigan does either. But again, you know how it is. It's just like anything else. It's just like you get 24 guys playing a game of cards, and 22 guys want to play one game of card, and the other two don't. Suddenly the two guys who don't want to play the same game of cards become, a little bit outcast. So, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I don't think you can do big enterprises with 16 of 18 teams. I think that would be complicated.
I agree. I agree with you. Yep.
We're not all in. We're signing the media deal, but two of us are kind of halfway in, right? I don't know how to do that. I think. So, what's your prediction? Give me a prediction. I'll let you go here. The playoff expansion is going to be the 16, 20, 24. What's it going to be? The next one.
Well, I think we're staying at 12 for next year.
Okay.
Because I think both sides are dug in. I think both the SEC and the Big Ten are dug in. So, you know what? Well, who knows? This selection, these, we'll see what happens when this 12-team playoff is selected, and who missed the cut, and how that plays politically across the country. But it's going to get bigger, and I do think it's going to grow past 16 at some point. So,
well, the LSU athletic director, the interim / full AD, said that too, right? He said he expected the playoff to expand.
Yeah. Well,
So,
the SEC wants it to expand. So, they want to expand.
To 16. To 16. Probably to 16. Probably.
Yep. I think, yep.
Yeah, 5 plus 11, Greg. 5 plus 11.
That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. All right. I appreciate your phone call, sir.
Yes, sir.
You
Talk
got
to you,
it,
buddy.
buddy.
Yeah, see you. Yeah, bye.
Christopher Hooter, LSU Tiger. Okay, so earlier on, we had somebody in the chat room saying, I was talking about 3-Eye Atlas, and I talked about those drones, and somebody in the chat room said, well, that drone story, Greg, that just went away. It has not gone away. This happened tonight. Breaking. Reports claim 7 drones were sighted tonight near the Dabo nuclear power plant in Belgium. Local outlet sources say information came in from a well-informed contact, while Mayor Mark van der Weijer refused to confirm or deny. No official statement yet from Belgium's defense, but this comes amid a wave of drone incursions across the country, across Belgium, right? Whether this was espionage, now which forced, by the way, it forcing temporary shutdowns and security reviews. Whether this was espionage, hybrid probing, or coordinated testing, Doel's airspace is among the most sensitive in Europe. If verified, it would mark the first drone intrusion around a nuclear reactor since the 2014 France incidents, and another sign that someone, somewhere, is mapping Europe's critical infrastructure. Stay alert, people, because this story is developing fast. Those drones flew over Langley, right? Over Langley, our Air Force in Virginia, for weeks, and we could not knock them down, right? We could not knock them down. I want to get to this. Okay, right here. They can't drop them. They can't get them out from. They cannot drop them. They've been trying. It could be something other than adversarial for sure. They can't take them down with drone jamming tech. They can't track them in or out. I would not rule out them being something else. So the story has not gone away. It has not. They're all over. These drones cannot be tracked. How they got to the airports, to the sensitive, military sensitive installations, they cannot be tracked coming in. They can't be tracked coming out, and they can't be taken down. If these were Russian drones, why would they not be using these in the Ukraine? Putting munitions on them, being able to drop if they can't be stopped, if they can't be taken down, if they leave and come without any radar detection, if we can't follow them, if these are Russian drones, why wouldn't they be using them in Ukraine? They're all over the place. They were in Langley, they were in Virginia, they were in New Jersey, they were in over the UK, now they're in over Belgium, they've been over France, they've been over everywhere. Whose drones are these? Who are they? Who are they? I don't know. I'm hoping to God that these drones belong to the United States of America, and we are mapping out enemy and friends alike, mapping out everything that everybody has, and we're playing dumb, and we're not telling anybody that these are our drones. Because if they're not our drones, Sean says it's his. I ain't saying, but I'm saying. Okay, thank you guys for joining us here at Peek Around the Corner College Football. We did our Week 11 predictions. And I got to say, I think you guys have, I think you all have slipped up a little bit here. I think this was an easy week of predictions. In the PATC Einsteins, I think you might have all goofed up. We're going to find out together. And again, Saturday, 12 noon Eastern time, watch party. Texas Tech Red Raiders versus the BYU Cougars. Join us for the watch party. We are going to have a great time. I want to thank Ryan Willie, Expansion Crush, Ricky Tungate, Daniel Gygax, Expedition Greg, Replica, Jacobra Cat, Christopher Hooter, and Kenneth Maynard for your generosity, helping us keep the lights on and grow the channel. I appreciate the phone calls, the comments. Again, before you leave, smash that like button if you like our content today. It helps with the algorithms of YouTube so very much. And if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications. We can come on live at any time, morning, afternoon, or night, covering the breaking news in college football. Subscribe, turn on the notifications, smash the like button. Until next time, which is going to be tomorrow or later tonight, until next time, from all of us at College Football's Peek Around the Corner, to all of you, please you all take great care of each other. And as always, God, family, golden goal.